Well, because, yeah, I know I'm looking real fresh. This is fresh out of the wash day, baby, okay? Okay. Hair is given. Skin is clear. Skin is glowing. Like, Let's not even stay here too long, because I'm so obsessed with my natural self. Like, this skin is just oof. But let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to the Barbie Life 2.0 podcast. I'm your beautiful host, Shakira, aka Barbie 2.0. And today we are going to be doing a little story time. And yes, you guessed it. This is going to be a story time about how I found out that my friend was colorist. Now, I have many story times about finding out that a friend of mine was colorist. Sadly, this has happened to me numerous times, okay? But I'm gonna give y'all one of the stories this time, okay? So let's just get into it. So me and this girl were actually really good friends, and we're gonna call her Nina. Now, before we begin this story, I just want to point out the fact that Nina was a brown-skinned black girl. So, I mean, it's no surprise there. She was being colorist towards me while literally being a brown-skinned girl.
What?
I know to some of you it might sound crazy, but a lot of people in the black community are super thirsty for a superiority complex, and they use skin tone to have it. So even though she was brown skin, she was using the fact that she was lighter to display her feelings of being better than me.
That's a damn shame.
Now, this was in a PWI, by the way, so I was surrounded by a bunch of white kids who were racist and a bunch of black kids who were coons, okay?
Damn!
But let's get into the story. So me and this girl were pretty good friends, okay? And we were actually in a friend group. And it was two other girls. And we're going to call them Amy and Diane. So basically, me and Nina were talking one day. And I was basically telling her about how my love life was horrible. And the guys that I had to choose from were just a bunch of bums and all over the place. So she's like, oh, well, you know what, girl? I have a friend and we're going to call him Chance. But she's like, yeah, I have a friend named Chance and I think you guys would be cute together. I'll talk to him for you. I'll give you his info and you guys can text and I could see you guys together. Seriously. So Nina is setting me up with Chance at this point. And I'm like, okay, I mean, shoot, I'm open to it. All right. And Chance was a black man. He was 75% black and 25% white because he had one fully black parent and one mixed parent. Okay. And y'all know me, my type is pretty much anybody. So I don't care if you're white, Asian, whatever. It doesn't define your cuteness or your ability to be a good partner. So me personally, I don't care what race or skin tone you have. If you look good and you have the ability to be a good partner, I'll date you. So she was setting me up, and since me and her were friends, I trusted her opinion. So I'm like, all right, I'll start talking to Chance. So me and Chance start texting each other, right? And we're texting for about a week or so. And then he just randomly ghosts me, right? It was so weird and random. And I was so confused because I'm like, did I say something wrong? Because based on our conversations, everything seemed totally fine, So I go to Nina about it and I'm like, hey girl, like what's going on? Like Chance just randomly ghosted me and I don't know what happened. And Nina is in my face acting clueless. She's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's just trying to focus on himself. And I'm going to Nina asking her because she's the one that set us up and they're supposedly friends. So I'm like, if y'all are friends, then you should know why he just randomly ghosts me. I mean, you set us up and then he just randomly disappeared. And she's still clueless, like, oh, I don't know why. You know, me and him do talk. Maybe I'll talk to him, but it's probably because he just wants to focus on himself. Like, just saying things like that, right? So I end up just letting it go. I'm like, all right, whatever. He ghosts me, whatever. That's it, right? So one day, okay, we were all hanging out, all right? Me and this girl, we were actually on a sports team together, so we were at practice, right? And she was basically talking about a Halloween party that she was throwing. And she kept talking about it to the other girls in our friend group right in front of me, but she did not invite me. So I already found that a little bit weird. I'm like, okay, she's having a Halloween party and I thought me and this girl were friends, but she's just, I guess, not inviting me. That's weird. So I basically start asking the other people in our friend group, like, is she having a Halloween party? And they're all like, yeah. And I'm like, she didn't tell me about it. How come she didn't invite me? And the other people in the friend group are like, oh, you're probably going to have to talk to her about it. Honestly, I don't want to get involved. And I'm like, get involved? What is going on? Like, because as far as I know, I don't think there's any beef or any problem between me and this girl. Like, from what I understand, she set me up with this guy, Chance. He ghosted me. And then I went about my business. So what's the issue? Right? So I'm confused. So then the next day, she ends up inviting me to the party. And I guess she was just doing it because she felt bad, or I don't know, because I had went to the other people in the friend group like, why didn't she invite me? And she's been talking about it in my face for days now. And it's like, how you talking, like, you talking about a party that you're throwing in my face with other people, but you didn't invite me. Like, that's weird. So then we're at practice the day she invites me to the party. And I hear her talking to the other people in our friend group. And she's like, and Shakira better not start nothing when I'm all over Chance. And I immediately am confused. I'm like, you never, ever, ever, ever told me that you and Chance were a thing. And the reason me and Chance even know each other is because you introduced us to date. Like, you literally tried to set us up. So I'm so confused. Why are you talking to him when you tried to set us up? And this whole entire time, I've been asking you, like, what's going on with Chance? He just randomly ghosts me after you set us up. And you've been acting clueless this whole entire time. Meanwhile, y'all are supposed to be booed up at this party, meaning you've been talking. Like, I'm confused. So after that, right, I ask one of the people in our friend group, and I'm like, is she talking to Chance? Like, are they fucking or something? And they're like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I know that they definitely are very booed up together when I see them. And it's like the girl in the friend group is not trying to tell me that they are fucking, but she's giving me clues that they're fucking. Like, oh, when I see them together, they're very booed up, but, you know, I don't really want to tell other people's business. Like, saying stuff like that, right? So, fast forward, right? Later that day, Nina calls me. And she's like, oh, so why are you talking about me behind my back to my friends? I'm like, I'm not talking bad about you. I was just confused because apparently you and Chance are fucking, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that you guys were together or you were doing anything with him. I didn't know that you liked him. None of that. And the thing is, I'm confused because you set me up with him originally and he randomly ghosts me. And this whole entire time I've been asking you, why did he ghost me? What's going on? And you've been acting clueless whole time. You two are a thing and you never told me. You know, like, just imagine you're talking to a guy and he randomly ghosts you and you're going to your friend like, girl, what happened? Like, he just randomly ghosted me. And she's acting clueless like, oh, I don't know. Whole time she's fucking him. So it's like, girl, like, I have the right to be a little bit frustrated. And she's over here like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious that me and him are a thing. How did you not know? I'm like, what do you mean, how did I not know? I'm literally never around you guys, which is true. I only hung out with her alone or with our friend group that was the other two girls, Amy and Diane. Other than that, I never hung out with her and him together. So I don't know how they act together at all. I've never even seen them together, to be honest. She's like, oh, well, you should have knew because it was obvious. I made it obvious that I liked him. I made it obvious that I marked my territory. I'm like, how did you make it obvious if you set me up with him? Like, I'm so confused. And then on top of it, when he ghosted me, I kept asking you what's going on, and you did not tell me anything about, oh, me and him are talking, or, oh, I like him. And I really don't care if you and him are talking. I don't care if you like him. It's just, tell me. I'm not aware of any of this stuff, and you're not telling me anything. So it's like, how am I supposed to know? Like, it's given delusional. And she was just one of those people that think that you're able to just read their mind and know what's going on. And it's like, girl. And honestly, this whole situation was just giving, I want a reason to hate you. Because it's like, girl, like, you never told me that you and this man were talking. You never told me that you liked him. And you just randomly expect me to know that y'all are talking to each other? Like, I don't get it. You never told me that. So how am I supposed to know that y'all are talking? And after me and her going back and forth, we don't come to any solution. She gets mad, flips out, and she's like, you know what? You're not coming to my Halloween party anymore. You're disinvited. And then she hung up on me. So I was super upset by this, and I was crying all night because I'm like, damn, she just really disinvited me. And I was the uncool girl in my school, so a lot of people did not invite me anywhere. You know what I mean? I was the girl that was the weird one that people didn't invite places. So it was one of the only parties that I actually was invited to. So I was super upset when I wasn't invited. And after they had the party, I was even more upset because when I went back to school, that girl recruited everybody in the friend group to not talk to me anymore. Literally. They would only hang out with her. They would only walk around to their classes with her, only talk to her, and they would just completely ignore me. And then on top of it, this girl starts making fun of me now. She starts calling me Blackie. She starts calling me darky. She starts making fun of my skin complexion, saying that, like, I look burnt. You know, I look like I've been in the oven. Like, just making fun of my skin complexion. And this becomes a daily thing. Every single day, this girl is making fun of my skin complexion. And I'm so confused because I'm like, what did I do to this girl? What did I do to this girl? From what I understand, she set me up with a guy. He ghosted me. She started fucking him. And I wasn't aware. So, what did I do to this girl for her to hate me so much? To the point where now she's making fun of me and calling me Blackie and Darky every day. And it was just giving, I wanted an excuse to hate you. I felt like she really didn't have a valid excuse to hate me. So she literally made something up in her head and used that as a reason to hate me, and then recruited her other little followers to hate me with her. And that's what a lot of jealous people do. When they see that you're that girl, and when they see that you have a light to you, they'll try to make you feel small by bullying you or picking at your insecurities. And then they'll try to make up lies about you and recruit other people to hate on you with them, which is exactly what she did. So I lost all my friends at that point because the whole friend group was on her side. I had to go to school every day with her making fun of me, calling me blackie or darkie while I was walking the halls minding my own business. And it was honestly annoying. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, bullies really do work overtime, because it was so annoying. I would just dead ass be minding my business in school, and I would just hear her come. Oh, darkie, you're a blackie. I'm like, here we fucking go. And it's like, damn, like, girl, I'm not even bothering you. I'm not even talking to you. And you're just coming in my space trying to bother me, trying to call me blackie and all this stuff. And at the time, I was young and I was super insecure about my skin. And she knew that from when we were friends. Because when we were friends, I would tell her about how I was insecure about my skin. And she would always try to tell me, oh, don't feel bad about your skin. Your skin is beautiful. Don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. And then she gonna turn around and start making fun of me. So she's making fun of me daily. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm over it. You know what I mean? So one day we had a basketball game. And when I was leaving the basketball game, Nina and one of the people from our friend group, Amy, who is one of her white friends, by the way, they parked their car in front of the exit that I was leaving on purpose, just so they could roll down the window and start screaming blackie at me. And they're literally like, you're a blackie, blackie. And they start making a song out of it. And they're like, blackie, blackie, you're a blackie, you're a blackie, you're a dark ass bitch. Like, just saying like all these inappropriate, rude stuff about my skin color, pretty much. So after they do that, I start crying. And at that point, I was sick. I was done. I was over it. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I just be minding my business. This girl keep bullying me for my skin complexion. Me and her were friends at one point. I didn't do anything to this girl. Like, I'm fed up, right? So I take it to the guidance counselor at my school. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people where I'm going to tell on you if you start doing too much. And she started doing too much because she was making fun of me every single day when I was dead ass just minding my business. Like, I was not doing anything like in her space or nothing. And she would just come bother me in my space to make fun of my skin complexion. So I got so tired that I went to the guidance counselor about it. Because you know what? The only place I see her at is school. And you keep bothering me at school. So I'm going to tell the guidance counselors. And one thing I'll say, if any of my subscribers are in high school, don't let anybody put some fear into you to the point where you scared to snitch on somebody. Because if they doing too much and somebody needs to put a foot down for them to be disciplined, then do it. And she needed to be disciplined. And I wasn't about to fight her or anything like that because I have stuff to lose. I have a future and I'm not on baddies, okay? This is real life, okay? So I wasn't about to go fight her or anything. I wasn't getting myself suspended because I wanted to get into a good college. So I'm like, no, I'm going to the guidance counselor and I'm telling on your ass. And hopefully they let you know that if you keep going, you gonna get suspended and then you gonna stop messing with me. So I went to the guidance counselor about it. And this girl and her white friend, Amy, get mad to the point where they literally threatened to fight me because I went and told the guidance counselor. And I'm like, how y'all threatened to fight me because I told on y'all for bullying me? It don't make no sense. You're making fun of me for my skin complexion for literally no reason because I haven't done anything to you. Like, and I tell on you, I snitch on you, and now you want to fight me? So, well, I don't know. So then I go to the guidance counselors again, and I go to the assistant principal, and I tell them this girl is now trying to fight me because I told on her for bullying me. So I guess after they talk to her, she gets scared because they probably threatened to like suspend her or something. So she's just like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna just leave her alone or whatever. And I'm over here like scared for my life because I'm like, this girl better not touch me because I'm gonna call the police. Like, I'm sorry, like I was not trying to fight her at all. I just wanted her to leave me alone. That's the whole reason I went to the guidance counselor. Like, and that's the thing about like jealous bitches. They be so pressed for your attention. You could just be minding your business, be unbothered, and they just gonna want to come and bother you and be in your space and want to create a beef with you. And it's like, girl, like, you want to create a beef with me so bad because you're in secret competition with me.
And
because get this tea. A month later, I had cut her off because I was so done with her and I just blocked her on everything and I was tired of her bullying me. So me and her were not friends anymore. And me and Chance started texting because he reached out to me. And I started telling him about how Nina was making fun of my skin complexion and bullying me every day. And Chance gonna say, oh, well, it's probably because when me and her were hooking up, I moaned your name by accident. And I'm like, now it all comes full circle. I get it now. She was in secret competition with me. You see, this girl had an issue with me off rip, but she didn't have a valid reason to beef with me.
clock it.
This girl was jealous of me and she saw a light in me and she wanted to prove to herself that she was better than me. So she inserted this man in our friendship by setting me up with him and then later going behind my back to hook up with him so that she could create this secret competition with me. So that she could prove to herself that she's better than me in some way because deep down, she's jealous. And when she gave up her punani, she thought that she won the competition. Just for him to moan my name in bed with her. So now she's already frustrated because when colorist black women realize that that lighter skin didn't get them more attention from that man, they flip out. And that is what she did. So that's why she went back and started recruiting all these people to hate me with her and started bullying me for my skin complexion.
Clock it.
She couldn't stand the fact that her man liked a dark-skinned girl over her. Because the thing about it is, light-skinned women or even women who are brown-skinned, if they are colorists, they feel like they're better than darker-skinned women. And they feel like they automatically will get more attention or be more desirable than dark-skinned women. So when they see that a dark-skinned girl is more desirable to a man or getting more attention from a man, they start to feel some type of way. And they start to lash out on dark-skinned women and they start to be colorist towards us. So in Nina's case, she felt some type of way because her man was thinking about a dark-skinned girl while they were fucking. And she has been living in this colorist reality where she feels as though that she's better than dark-skinned women because she's brown-skinned. And she's been living in that reality. She's been believing that she's better than me because she's lighter than me. But her nigga confirmed that even that light skin can't stop him from thinking about me. So now she feels some type of way and she's taking her anger out on me by bullying me for weeks about my skin complexion. And that was the first time I realized what it's like to be a dark-skinned girl getting more attention than her light-skinned colorist friend. Cause, child, that girl was, So after me and Nina stopped being friends and I find out all this information about, the whole sex scandal and my name being shouted out, me and Chance continue to talk and continue our situationship, and we actually got super close with each other. Like, we were literally hanging out with each other every single day, and I was telling him a lot of my deepest secrets, and he was also confiding in me as well, and we were super cool. And at this point, I'm like, fuck it, I could talk to Chance because me and Nina are not friends anymore. This girl done bullied me for my skin complexion, tried to fight me. Like, me and her are not friends no more. So yeah, I could talk to Chance if I want to. That's where my mind was at the time. Now today, I probably wouldn't have did that just because I like to avoid drama at all costs. So at this time, the woman I am today, I just feel like there's so many men in the world. So I honestly would have, even though me and her were not friends anymore, so like I didn't owe her loyalty or anything like that. Now I probably would have never even talked to him just to avoid the drama that was going to come next. But either way, I was young at the time, so I start talking to him because I'm like, fuck it. Me and Nina are not friends anymore, so whatever they had going on has nothing to do with me. And that girl done made fun of me for my skin complexion. She bullies me every day, so it's really fuck that bitch, and I have no respect for her. So I start talking to Chance. But I noticed that when we were in school, when he was around his friends, he would keep a distance with me and he would try not to talk to me for very long. And sometimes in the hallways, he would act like he couldn't hear me, just act like he didn't really know me or didn't really fuck with me, But when we were hanging out with each other outside of school, everything was cool. Everything was chilling, But honestly, at the time, I was super young. So I wasn't really thinking anything of it, but I should have seen that, that was a red flag. But I just let it pass. And one day, me and him linked up. And when me and him had a little sexy sex, child, this man lasted inside of me for like 2 seconds. Okay, literally, he was inside of me for 2 seconds, and then he came right after. He did 2 strokes, uno, dos, and he came. And it was so hard to even get his ding ding inside of my poon poon, because his ding ding kept getting soft every single time he would put on a condom. Literally, he would be hard and lengthy and ready to go, and then as soon as he would put on the condom, his ding ding would shrink and it would just deflate. And it was like watching a balloon deflate of air. Like, it would literally just like shrink into like 2 inches. And we were struggling the whole time just to put it in my poom poom. And then when he finally got in my poom poom, he lasted like 2 seconds. It was a whole mess. And it was embarrassing for him. But he decided to flip the script on me and make it seem like it was embarrassing for me, and made it seem like I had the terrible poom poom. Because a week later, he texts me and he's like, oh, I can't do this anymore because, one, you have bad poon poon and you look too African and you smell too African. So I'm like, how could I have a bad poom poon if you couldn't even last in this poom poom for 2 seconds? But
I said what I said, and I'm not changing on it, okay? I said what I said.
And I'm over here so confused because I'm like, what the hell does look too African mean? What does smell too African mean? Like, why does smelling African equate to smelling bad? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what? Like, this is not making sense. It was just like, it was giving weird. It was giving, I felt embarrassed because I didn't really know how to handle that poon poon. But because I'm so embarrassed and my ego is shot, I'm going to make you feel like you're the one who should feel embarrassed. That's what it was giving. And that's what a lot of insecure men do. A lot of insecure men will literally try to make you feel like you're small, or they'll try to make you feel like you should feel embarrassed because their ego is shot next to you, because deep down you make them feel small and you make them feel like you're out of their league, literally. And that's what was happening with that situation. And keep in mind, this man was a black man out here telling me that I look too African and I smell too African. And I was the uncool girl at my school, like I said. So I felt like he was embarrassed to be seen with me, because a lot of people did make fun of me for being dark skinned and being African. And I felt like he didn't want to be seen with the dark girl that everybody makes fun of, especially now that I had a new name called Blackie. And, you know, my ex-best friend was calling me Blackie every single day at school. And a lot of people were laughing with her, and I was the butt of a lot of people's jokes. So he didn't want to be seen around me either. So he started telling me that he didn't want to be with me anymore. And it's like, boy, you were talking to me for months. You mean to tell me that you could be talking to somebody for months and hanging out with them every single day, and after like 6 months of hanging out with them every single day, you randomly don't want to talk to them anymore because they smell too African? So the smell didn't bother you for the 6 months that we were talking?
You're full of That's what you are. You full of Now take that to the bank and cash that damn shit.
And
So I found out my friend was colorist. And now the guy that I've been talking to for a couple of months is also colorist. And I find all of this out within 1 year? What the hell?
That is funny.
This was all a learning experience for me. And this is what a lot of dark-skinned people also have to come to realize as well. Because just like how racist people can have black friends and still be racist, light-skinned people or even brown-skinned people, they can have darker friends and still be colorist.
Crocky.
And some black women will be friends with dark-skinned women knowing that they're colorists, just so they can use us for an ego boost. Because in their mind, they think that their lighter skin automatically makes them better than darker skinned people. So they'll have a dark skinned friend next to them so they can constantly feed their ego. So every time you guys go out and every time you guys are in a public setting or you're hanging out, they'll feel an ego boost every time they get more attention, because they'll think, oh, well, I got more attention than her because I'm lighter, and light equals prettier in their eyes.
I said what I said, and I'm not changing on it, okay?
And we see all the time of, you know, the non-black women who date black men, but they still love to say the N-word, and they don't respect black culture or respect black women, and they be low-key racist. It's the same thing with colorist people too. There's so many colorist men who will sit up here and date a dark-skinned woman just because they want their ego stroked. Because they look at dark-skinned women like we're at the bottom of the barrel, and they think that we don't have any other options. So they think that if they pursue us, we're automatically going to fall to their knees and just be ready to date them because we don't have any options to begin with. So they think that dark-skinned women are automatically super grateful just to get any attention from a black man. Simple as that. And when it comes to Chance, you know, that man, he went out sad because he left me for looking too African and smelling too African. He ended up going to prom a few weeks later with some white girl at our school that was not touching me at all. Like, not even on the same level as me. And a few years later, this man was still watching me on my Instagram, watching me in my story views. And I know he regrets it. Like, I know he regrets it. And it's like, ladies, one thing I will tell y'all, if you are in high school or college and you're getting bullied for your skin complexion, especially by men, or if there's any men who make you feel like you're not desirable, or let me just tell you something right now. All the men who want to overlook you because you're dark skinned, they're going to be in your DMs at some point. When you grow up, when you get a little older, they're going to be in your DMs. Because in high school, you live in a different reality, especially when you are in a PWI, because you're around a bunch of racist white kids and a bunch of black kids who are coons. And you're living in that small world. And because you guys haven't entered the real world yet, they're going to make you feel small in that high school environment. But when you guys leave and you enter the real world, and you come across a pool of people from different backgrounds and many different people who aren't colorists, and you start getting appreciation for your skin, and they enter the real world and they start realizing that they're a bunch of nobodies and they were only cool in their small little high school town, but other than that, in the real world, they're basic and nothing. That's when they start to be in your DMs, because they realize that you had the true light. You had the true shine. And you were the true star. Because that dark skin is rare and beautiful. And the whole world appreciates it. There's only the stupid colorist ones that don't. And that's when they start to be in your DMs. And that's when they start to try to be your friend. Trust me. Every single person that bullied me for my skin complexion, years later, they tried to be my friend or they tried to date me. I still came out being the baddest bitch. I'm still got more money than anyone who bullied me for my skin complexion. I'm more successful than anybody that bullied me for my skin complexion. And I look better than anybody who bullied me for my skin complexion. So at the end of the day, anybody that bullies you for having dark skin is lame and a nobody, and they're never going to amount to anything in life because they're relying on a systemic form of oppression to keep them ahead. And that can only get you so far. So, and I'm sorry, you can never make me feel small because of my skin complexion. Maybe at the time, but right now, I don't care what you say. You could call me dark, but I'm dark and beautiful. This skin is glowing. The skin is beautiful. The skin is chocolatey, like melanated. Like, it's literally bouncing off of the light. Like, baby. Yeah. And this is no makeup. So, you can't. Ew. Yeah, let's get into the fit. Period. But yeah. So, but that's all for this story. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shakira, aka Barbie 2.0, and I talk about colorism, texturism, and featureism. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.